I'm back. This is the third video, hopefully. I don't know, I'm just saying this. I haven't made the video yet. Who knows what cameras are still running. I know this one is, but audio's not on this one. In any case, I am flying from Malaga, Washington to McMinnville, Oregon. It's about a 2-hour flight. Let me just point something out while I'm talking here. These areas ahead of us, you'll see where they did logging. So they did logging in these patches where the forest is different. And then they planted, they either planted trees, some of them are probably planted. This one doesn't look very planted. So they cut the trees out and they either take them out with logging trucks or sometimes they use helicopters. I do see logging roads. I don't see anything big enough for a helicopter, but anyway, that's logging in this area. Anyway, I'm going to McMinnville, Oregon with the helicopter, 2-hour flight, and that is to get an annual inspection done on the helicopter. That's the closest mechanic I know that will get me an annual. The closest mechanic that I know and trust that will get me an annual. So right now I am flying between Mount Adams, which is obscured at the top by clouds, and Mount St. Helens, which is out there, and you can see the top, it's kind of flat, icky looking. It's not a nice day. It's drizzling on me, which is not a big deal. The ceilings are, oh gosh, I'd say I got at least 1,000 feet above me right now. So that's good. I see some sun shining right over there, which unfortunately that's not the way I'm going. If you're watching, if you got a chance to watch this on Flight Radar, you'll see that I made a big loop, not a loop, but a big detour, and that was to get around some weather. I had to cross mountains, and the clouds are touching the tops, or getting close, too close for me. I do not like scud running. I avoid it. So I'm getting back on course now. This should be the last, these hills here should be the last of the mountains. And this video will probably take us over the last little bit of mountains here. And then down to the Columbia River, where it's over by, probably past Hood River, hopefully. Big valley down here. I got 50 minutes left in the flight if I continue on this course at this speed. I'm hoping to overfly Portland, which I need to prep for. I'm looking down ahead there on my iPad. There's weather ahead. The weather's mostly to that direction, so we'll see. I don't like crossing mountains like this. You know, if you have to go down, there's not really any place to land. I try not to think about it too much. Because, I mean, I know people who won't cross mountains unless they're following a road because they're constantly thinking about going down, and I just don't, subscribe to that attitude. I mean, I look for places, but I don't think about it all the time. You can't. You just be a nervous, you'd be a crazy person if you try flying when you're thinking about crashing all the time. So, I just fly. I like the fact that there's ADSB, that I'm being tracked, or I can be tracked. So if something happens, they can find me, dead or alive, whatever, out here, because it is pretty remote. I used to use a spot messenger. In fact, I still have it sitting here in the aircraft. I am going to cancel my subscription to that this year. I really have no use for it anymore. I'm looking out, I can see, almost see the top of Mount Adams. It's looking pretty good there with the sun shining on it. And this blue sky, I mean, it's not a terrible day. Up ahead doesn't look so good. Doesn't look good there. Here, doesn't look good there. Oh, nice. That's probably a logging road down there. It looks like it was just made. If I didn't have time constraints on this flight, I would do a more scenic route. I would look for waterfalls and show them off. And, but I just need to get from point A to point B. Although I think I do see a waterfall coming up. If I can show it to you. But it sure does look dismal up ahead. Off in the distance. So I had offered people to come with me on this flight for the cost of fuel, which is a lot less than my cost to fly this thing. And I had to take her, and unfortunately she backed out 2 days before. And, which makes me very angry. It's not the first time it happened, but this flight is not nearly as bad as the last time. The last time was a 10-hour flight, and the guy was paying to fly the helicopter, and I had 3 guys that were interested in doing it, and I picked this guy, and he waited until the day before to say, oh, by the way, I'm not going to do it. I was really pissed off. I thought this was a waterfall ahead of me, but it's just a snow slide down in the crack. That's why I'm coming so close. It'll be a waterfall soon. It's 45 degrees outside, but that spot there doesn't get much sun, so you could tell by which way it's facing the crack. Well, there's a waterfall for you. Can you see it? I said I wasn't going to detour, but it's off to the side here. And there's another one down there. So the snow melts, has to come down, right? So it makes these waterfalls. So this time of year, spring, it's May. If you fly along any mountain like this with snow on top, you're going to see waterfalls. It's just, that's what you get. This might be the only bit of sun we get in the whole flight right here. Looking at the radar, it's not looking good. So now Mount St. Helens is off that way, but it's hidden by these other hills next to me. And we're past Mount Adams. So the FAA required that I get this radar altimeter, and their logic, which is totally convoluted, was that if I flew into a cloud by accident, I could see how far above the ground I was. The problem is that I'm moving forward. I'm not moving backwards. I'm not moving and standing still. And the radar altimeter doesn't tell me the altitude of the terrain in front of me. So I'm going right now 105 knots, coming up on this ridge. It says I've got 820 feet below me. Well, I know I'm not going to cross that at 820 feet. So it's, if anything, it's misleading. So if I wasn't able to see right now, I would think I'm okay. 1,500 feet, holy cow, I'm fine. But in the meantime, I'm going to cross this thing probably around 300 feet. Which of course I'm still going to cross it, but the radar altimeter isn't giving me any assurances. It's lying to me. So here we are, crossing the top, 500 feet there, which I'm not, because there's also a delay. That's the other problem. So it got down to 355 feet. And that's just not accurate. So it makes me, well, it makes me angry that I had to buy it because, number one, I'm VFR only, meaning I cannot fly in the clouds. It's not legal for me to fly in the clouds. And I'm not an idiot, and I'm not going to fly in the clouds. So, geez, I did it once, and that scared the crap out of me. I'm not going to do it again. And that was only for like, what, a second? That seemed like 15 minutes. Anybody who flies an aircraft and relies on a radar altimeter to tell you whether there's something in front of you that you're going to hit is an idiot. So it makes me angry that they forced me to spend, it could have cost, I was able to get a really good deal. It only cost me only $10,000 to buy that thing. And if I relied on it, it would make me a less safe pilot. So I'm very, very angry that I was required to buy that. And honestly, I don't know why more people aren't, in my situation, aren't more angry. But they're not. Because people roll over. Roll over and play dead. Alright, so we're descending still. That's Mount St. Helens still. It's got clouds on top of it. Raining off to the side here. We're descending. Now we're down to 5,000 feet elevation. We're off course just slightly. We're about maybe a mile to the, or 2 miles maybe, to the west of our course. But that's okay. Less rain here. More logging down here. These trees look planted. This is probably logging too, maybe not. Looks too rocky to plant. I'm thinking we're going to get to the river before we hit those ridges out there. Let's see. Oh no, that's not the river at all. Oh. Oh, let's see how it goes then. When I flew at the Grand Canyon, we flew long rangers at the Grand Canyon. I did that in 2004. And I recommend it to anybody who wants to be a helicopter pilot professionally. Get a season at the Canyon. You'll learn about high density altitude. You'll learn about turbulence, flying in high winds. You'll learn about precise control of your flight path because you really have to be in a specific place. You'll learn high density altitude. You know, the airport's at 6,300 feet. Temperatures in the summer can get up to 90, so it's a high density altitude situation. You're flying with full loads a lot of time, really close to max gross weight. And then you got the visibility, you got the weather issues for the monsoon. So you got the monsoon rains, which is thunderstorms. They're pretty violent thunderstorms sometimes, lots of lightning. And then you've got, I'm not liking the way that looks out there. That looks like I'm gonna have to go over the clouds and I don't want to do that. Let me just see what we got here. These are all VFR. I'm making faces at the camera's making faces. Because I'm not liking what I see. I want to go on course and I'm going to have to... The problem with going out that way, then you start getting stuff coming in from the ocean and a lot of times it's really low. And I'm seeing over the tops of clouds here and they look pretty solid. And I don't want to be over those clouds because I can get stuck between two layers and not be able to come through. The other option is to just come down these valleys. Also, I'm seeing significant weather up ahead. I'm going to have to find an airport to land at, I think. Who's this? Let's turn off the radar so I can actually see what's going on out here. Oh, that's Troutdale. I want to land at Troutdale. Where am I? Who's this? Cascade locks. They're all VFR. I'm going to try going straight this way. You can see the clouds coming in over here. Anyway, Grand Canyon, you learn, one of the things that they taught us, which is what brought me to this point, there is a point, sometimes there isn't, but this time there is that we were taught there that if you could see through it, you could fly through it. So when the weather was really bad or the clouds were coming in or whatever, if you could see through it, you could fly through it. And that's kind of a rule that I've been living with my whole, since then, flying career. Now, if it was thunderstorms, if it was turbulent, if I was seeing lightning ahead of me, things would be really different. But I'm not seeing any of that. I'm going to try to go down. I don't want to go down that valley. I want to go down more straight. Logging. There's baby trees growing in here. I suspect those are not planted, that they are just naturally reseeding. And logging here, fresher, I don't see any trees in there. Logging there. There's actually still, looks like there might be still equipment down there. And down here there's still, looks like a building. So this is all logged. All these patches are logged. That there looks like it could be a helipad out that way. Landing zone for helicopter. Little lake here. This is the Swift Reservoir. Coming up. I remember this from that first flight. Coming through this area. If I fly through there, get under the cloud deck, let's do that. Let's get the ATIS for Portland, 12835. Probably not going to hear it right now. Turn it on though. The Swift Reservoir. Control Tower, 118.7. Little road running along the reservoir, very picturesque. One of the things I like about being able to follow my course on a moving map that actually shows an aeronautical chart is because I can then see the terrain. So right now I'm flying in a valley and I can see the cloud deck ahead, and if I'm going to get underneath of it and I should be fine all the way to Portland. Because I didn't want to be above that because I'll get stuck. So now I'm at 2,400 feet. I was at 5,000 before. I would have been above that stuff. I don't want to be above it. Because then what happens is you get into the situation where there's clouds below you, you can't fly through them. Clouds above them, you don't want to go up anyway. And you wind up being, what happens sometimes is that those two layers of clouds come together up ahead, and you can fly into them, and I'm not going to do that. So, and then that's what gets people into trouble. They think, oh, you know, I can be up far on top, it's fine up here, and then they fly, and then before you know it, then if they're in a plane and they can't slow down or make a 180-degree turn in zero space, you know, then they get into trouble. And I don't want to be one of those pilots. I don't want to be a statistic. We'll just leave it at that. Beautiful yellow flowers along here. Must be maybe arrowroot. Can't tell from here, of course. That's what it reminds me of. 50 degrees outside. This is the dam end of the reservoir. Nice. Dogs are asleep. Oh, there's a place where they've got slash piles. They pulled out the trees. I keep pointing behind me. I'm really sorry about that. I won't do it anymore. Bye. You can't see it. But here's the, where they bring the water into a canal, looks like. For, what it looks like to me. The water's coming down the generating tower down there. Oh, that's probably just the overflow. Oh, this looks like a canal to me. Oh, we might actually pass to the... Looks like we are going to pass to the west of... get that weather back, so I can get freaked out by that. Hasn't loaded yet. What's nice about ForeFlight is you can load the maps in, so it doesn't matter if you're out of cell service, but when it has to update things like weather, I don't have ADSB in, so I can't get weather that way. So I have to wait till I get back into cell signal before the weather shows up on my on the iPad. This is looking much better down here. Looks way better that way, but that's not the way we have to go. Okay, we're half an hour from our destination. I tuned in Portland's frequency, and it's AWAS, but we're not going to hear it because there's too many clouds in the way. Radios are line of sight. If I was higher, we'd probably pick it up, but I'm not going up because there's clouds there. So I'm going to stay down here. We're 800 feet over the lake. It's VFR, according to ForeFlight here. Oh, and here comes, that's interesting, showing that we're about to fly into weather. I'm not seeing any lightning, I'm not seeing heavy rain. Drizzle, yes. Okay, I should be looking at the other radar. Let's see what that one looks like. Oh, that one looks a lot. The other radar must include stuff higher up. This looks more like what we're in now. Doesn't look good. Oh, track Dale's down to 3 miles. IFR. No, it's not looking good. Well, there's a couple of private airports. I don't want to land there. I can go right through, but then there's weather here. Let's go forward, see where we go. I hate this. I just want to fly and have nice weather, and this is the drawback. You know, so people that are learning how to fly, and the people who fly for pleasure, they don't deal with this. Because number one, when it's weather's like this, they're not going to do a flight lesson. And if you're flying for pleasure on a day like this, you're not going to go fly, because there's not really very much pleasurable about this. So the drawback to that, and there is a drawback, is that you never learn how to fly in this. So I've learned how to fly in this, but I don't want to fly in this. Just because I can doesn't mean I want to. I'm seeing low clouds there. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to make a precautionary up here somewhere. Drag. So then you make a precautionary landing, and you know, like there's a couple little private airports along the way here, and I should be able to find one. You know, so I'm not landing in the middle of nowhere, landing on the edge of nowhere. But at the same time, it's like, so you get out, well, what are you gonna do? Or you sit there, what are you gonna do? It's raining, it's miserable. Sometimes you're lucky and, you know, somebody comes up to you and offers to take you into town, or I had a guy offer me an overnight stay at his house. He and his wife were going, they were their vacation house on an airport. He and his wife were going home to their regular house. They said, yeah, just stay in our house here. I didn't feel comfortable about that, but in hindsight, I wish I had. All right, so I'm going to go to this ridge. I'm going to take a look. If I like what I see, I'll go over it. If I don't like what I see, I'm going to come back and try to find one of these little airports. Looks like there might be some private stuff off to the side here. Otherwise, I'll just land on a road or something. I could go down that way, too. It's a lot better over there. Well, let's do that. No, let's go take a peek. This is how I'm so indecisive. Let's see what's over the top of this ridge. Gotta come down into this valley. So this is, I would call this scud running, but I mean, my definition of scud running is different than other people's. I never lose sight of where I can go when I'm scud running. I never do. I'm just looking for a way to get through. Now there's little clouds underneath of me. They're nothing to worry about. It's still VFR in Portland. I mean, I could always land there. These clouds are getting really close to this ridge. Let's see. So now this is where I slow down. I don't want to fly over somebody's house, so let's go a little slower. Go to the side here. Oh, I can see over it, so let's go. Well, it sure is getting close, though. But you see there's fields out here. There's a big field right there if I had to land. God, this is awful. Oh, this is just bad. Going off that way. This is just way lower than I want to be. And it doesn't look any better out there. Oop, there's the ATIS.
International Airport area available from flight service frequencies. Tower frequency of runway 123.77. Clearance delivery of combined and ground control. Use frequency 121.9er. Advise on initial contact. Have information deliver.
Well, according to this.
International Airport information of
it's breaking up because the hill's here. The airport's out that way. The other thing about this helicopter I have got to get fixed and overhauled, this damn thing leaks. So now I'm getting the water dripping on me, which I really hate. Okay, according to this, there's an airport right under me, and I do not see one. So I don't know what the deal is with these charts. I really wish they'd get them fixed. A lot of farmland. You could land in any of these fields. I'm sure nobody would be upset about that. I'd rather land at an airport. I just hope this weather moves through. So this is scud running. Fun stuff, right? I'm really not that low. I'm over 300. I'm almost over 400 feet now. 500 feet. I'm well below the clouds, so it's not like it's the end of the world. There's lots of places below me to land. Nice green fields. Who is this one? What is this one? Turn on the Woodland State. That's where we're going to go. What is the frequency? 122.9. Or that way. Of course, it's not on that. But W27. Oh, there it is. Okay. Go to enter. Sure. All right. So we're going to Woodland State. We'll wait it out there. Hopefully, they have a bathroom. We are 5 miles out. It looks like it's on the other side. Looks like it's right on the freeway. Looks like I gotta get over this ridge. Maybe I go around. Not where I want to be today. The problem is was no way for me to go that was going to avoid this because it's sitting right over the whole area I have to fly in. So there's really no way around it. Woodland State traffic helicopter 7534 Delta is about 3 to the northeast, hoping to land. Oh, that might be, I see something blinking out there. I don't think that's the airport though. This is what I'm worried about. I'm worried there being like a little cloud like this sitting right on top of the airport so I can't see it. That would be kind of a pain in the butt. It's going to be right on the other side of this hill, I think. So this is, when you fly, you have to be prepared to make changes in your flight plan, and that's an example of what we got going on here. The Christmas tree farm down there. I'm still sightseeing. And the situation is that I can't go straight where I have to go. I get over these little clouds. I know they're little, but I really don't like flying through these, even these kind of clouds. It should be right coming into view, unless it's on top of that hill. Might be on top of the hill. Well, the trick is when you're really low, you can't see the airports all the time, so that's kind of a pain too. So there's the freeway. I'm headed right for it. It's probably gonna be right on the other side of this hill. Okay, it's gonna be right on the other side of this hill. And Woodland State Traffic Helicopter 34 Delta is coming over the hill, looking for the airport, gonna be landing. Oh, let's hope there's an airport here. According to this, I'm right on it. I'm not seeing the airport. Shit, I really didn't see the airport. Okay, according to my map, I am over the top of it. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's right down there. It is right next to the airport. Okay. Wow, what a crappy little runway. I'd hate to have to land a plane there. Okay, here we go. Making a big tight turn here. And, yeah. Oh man, there's nothing here. There's not even there's nothing here. Well, there's a freeway. Okay, so the runway is right in front of me. It's parallel to the freeway. I'm gonna come down. Man, there's nothing here. God, I hate this. Well, at least there's a fence. Don't have to worry about the dogs running out to the freeway. So, yeah, this is the runway. Can you imagine having to land here in an airplane? I can't even imagine. I mean, a small plane, yeah, but man, what if you were in like a twin or something? There is I think there's an outhouse over there. Can't land on the runway because that's rude. Oh, there's a plane there. Okay, so adventures. Adventures in flying. Is there a guy living in that airplane, or has he just got it covered? I don't know what's going on there. Well, hopefully. Well, it's nice to see a bathroom. I'm just gonna set it down here. Okay, well, turn the heat off. So, that was not fun. I don't even know if this is gonna get to YouTube, all that nonsense back there, but I just don't feel comfortable going forward. And safety first, honestly. And if I have to sit here for an hour with my dogs in the helicopter trying to stay dry, that's the way it's gonna be. I did notice that it looked like there was a gas station about a half-mile down the road there. So maybe I can go get a bite to eat or something. So I'm gonna cool down the engine. I'm gonna shut it down. Hopefully this weather will pass through. I'll have to close my flight plan so that the FAA doesn't start looking for me at 9 o'clock. And well, when I get going again, I'll turn the cameras back on and we will continue on our way. Oh, looks that the camera's actually running the whole time. That's a good thing. Okay, that's it. Later. Bye.